So, welcome back to the podcast. I'm super excited to have you here. And today I am going to actually share my manifestation story. It's actually mine and my husband's manifestation of our beautiful salon/office space that we have. And that we actually attracted into our lives about 1.5 years ago. And I want to share this because I have some really amazing nuggets to actually share with you, some amazing lessons when it comes to manifesting something. So I really want you to join me all the way to the end because you will learn some things what to do and some things what not to do and what could actually disturb you to attract what it is that you want to attract into your life. Our space. So this space is a little house that is outside on a patio. In the middle of a harbor, in the middle of the water. It's not big. It's perfect size-wise for us. And it has huge windows. It's almost like a greenhouse. And we have water on all 4 sides of this space. And we have the most beautiful, amazing sunsets going down. I haven't really been here as early when the sun goes up, so I don't really know what it looks like when the sun goes up, but the sunsets are amazing. So what happened was we were in the middle of the pandemic. We had a space that was a loft, an amazing loft space in a big villa that was amazing with 4 huge windows in the ceilings that was taking in light. We had windows on all 4 sides of the space. It was high ceilings, truly amazing. And when I was there and when my husband was there, we really felt calm, secure, amazing. And this was a building that we were several people that were companies that were sharing the space. It was amazing when I was upstairs. The whole sharing things, no, not so much. Because the companies that was there didn't really want the same thing. And the guy owning the building, he didn't really take care of it. So, I'm not going to say so much about that. So we were back in 2021, and I've actually several times I noticed that the old owner, he started to act weird, and I actually asked him straight out, like, are you going to sell the house? Because there was realtors coming in, he was having meetings with people. I actually snuck down one day pretending I was going to the toilet because they were having a meeting, so I could actually hear through the door what they were talking about, because I didn't trust this guy. And I didn't feel that what he was saying was actually true. And he was saying different things to different people in the house. So I snuck down and they were talking about the value of the house, how to sell it, yada. And I actually asked him, like, hey, are you selling the house? He's like, no, I'm just having it valuated. And then we came to work one day understanding that the house was sold. And we didn't know if we could still be there. We didn't know what was going to happen. We had no understanding of anything. So we're in the middle of the pandemic. Everything is going back and forth. Are you allowed to go to the hairdresser? Are you not allowed to go to the hairdresser? What is going on? Is it dangerous? Is it not dangerous? And a lot of things were going on at that very time. And I was just like, I don't know if I have the energy to actually find a new space at this very moment. And the first time I met the new owner, I had that awkward, horrible feeling that I had did something a bit too much. So what was happening? He had bought the house without even seeing it because the land was valuable. So when he was there, I was showing him around. I was telling him everything that was leaking, everything that was not working, just so that he would be aware of what the situation is, because the old owner had not done this. What I find is super weird, but not going into detail about that. But I had that feeling that at any time he could jump me. And I felt like, have I been too kind to him? Have I been too polite? And I mentioned I had a husband, and just, if you are a girl listening to this, you probably have had the same experience, like where you feel there is something that is creepy going on, but you cannot pinpoint the finger on this. It's super weird because, and you've probably done this the same, if you're a woman, you guys out there, maybe you don't understand this, but it is easy as a female to actually think that we have done something wrong, send out the wrong signals. So I was quiet about this, but I was afraid of him. It felt like I was not safe in the room with this guy. I actually didn't tell my husband Andy at all about this until like a few months later. But I had started to look for a new space. And normally I am really, really like, I can hold a high energy vibe. I can hold space for people. I can easily transform my own energy, transform other people's energy. But at this point of time, what happened was that my father had just passed away. A totally shit story for another time. He was not a kind person. And during the pandemic, there was so much negative energy going on all the time that I had to focus on releasing and shifting my own emotions and shifting my energy all the time to not get sucked into all the negativity that was going on. If you are an energy sensitive person, you probably experienced this yourself. And the pandemic was a real piece of work for me. And I was not able to manifest things quickly at this point because I was feeling down and I was also hit with post-COVID. So I had the capacity to do about 50% of what I normally would do because I was having brain fog. And it felt like I was stupid. It felt like my brain was shut down and I had no idea what was going on inside of my head. At times, I could feel like I had a train of thought and it just disappeared, and it was just like I've been out for half a minute and I didn't even know where I was. So my state of being wasn't that good. So both me and my husband started to talk about what is it that we really want. He had also post-COVID, so both of us were not in balance physically or mentally. And on top of this, my husband is a musician. He also works inside of the company. And it's funny because what we realized is that he's addicted to the adrenaline kicks when he's on stage. So when he's not out on tour for like 2 years, things happen. So yeah, a lot of things were out of the normal and the focus was not that really clear. So we kept on looking at spaces, we kept on asking ourselves, what is important for us? What is it that we want? What is it that we don't want? So manifesting, like, number 101 is to understand what is it that you want and what is it that you don't want. Some people are specific manifestors and some are non-specific manifestors. So a specific manifestor is someone that they want a house that is white and it needs to have a black fence and it needs to be this big and then it has to have this and it has to have that and it has to be built and be on this street and blah, 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 blah. Both me and my husband, we are non-specific manifestors and we have a truly deep connection. So when we are super clear on what we want, when we are super clear on how we want to feel and what kind of experience that we want to have in that space and what our values are in that terms, and we are both connected to the same thing, we really, really easily manifest things. In order for us to really bring in what it is that we want into our lives, first of all, we have to believe that is coming towards us. We have to trust that everything happens in divine timing. And there's one thing to say, yeah, it will come, but you have to truly believe it deep down in your heart. During the pandemic, it was mid-2021, the new owner told us that we were allowed to be in the space with the same rental agreement, blah, blah, blah. And he was there like once every 3 months. So I was trying to stay like focused on, he's not going to be there. It's going to be okay. Normally there's someone with me there, someone else in the building, so I don't have to worry. But I was looking for a new space because I felt uncertain and I felt a bit awkward, let's say. And then we had all the energies going on, trying to stay calm, try not to fall into the deep depths of fear that was going on around the planet, because I'm super sensitive. I get easily drained. I get easily caught up with things that are going on, and I had to work really, really hard on my boundaries. So post-COVID, my father had died. Later on, my husband's father dies, and in the same thing. So earlier, the guy who owned the new owner, he told us that we could stay at least for minimum 1 year with the same contract that we had. Nothing's going to change. Okay. Moving forward, a few days after my husband's father passed away, I opened my email and they had said that we are taking away your contract and you can stay, but you will have a 1 month lease, meaning that I have 1 month to leave when they will eliminate that contract. So everything is happening all at once. So we had 2 deaths in the family in that year, post-COVID, feeling like super tired, scared of everything that's going on, trying to keep a high vibe. And we had been saying yes to 3 different spaces that we wanted, but this was the first time ever, and I've been in business for over 20 years, that someone actually has said no to me renting space. They didn't let us know why, they didn't let us know anything, just that we're not interested having you as renting the space. I was starting to go like, what the hell is going on? Why is this so hard? So trying to focus on what is it that we actually value, what is important in our space. What was going on as well is in the middle of this, we had a neighbor in the house that we were living in, coming back to live in the house, and he started to have people over all night. Sometimes 4 people per hour came and pushed his door, so we were not sleeping. So let's say the situation was not amazing, and it was a challenge, a real challenge. And both me and Andy, my husband, felt stuck. We felt like, what is going on? What is happening? And how can we shift this? So we kept on looking at spaces, and so we were looking for spaces for about 11 months. Working on remembering also that every time someone said, no, we're not interested, also not take that as a letdown. Remembering that, okay, that was not the right fit for us, something better is coming. And holding that to your heart. And that was really, at this point of time, I didn't have that much energy left to stay positive, to just be high vibe. And there was so much going on in our private life, in our apartment. A lot of worry was going on. And when there is worry, you're not attracting the things that you're meant to attract into your life. That's just a fact. So a few weeks later, in mid-January, me and my husband, we were like, okay, now we have to become like super clear and aligned together. What is it that we want? So we were talking about the space that we wanted to be in, should have a lot of light. It should be open, preferably around nature, and it should be close to where we live so we can walk to work. Also reminding each other that this is coming into our lives. When the time is right, it will come into our lives. And I think it was 1 or 2 days later, we were out having a long walk in the city. We love taking long walks. And we were having a Swedish fika. If you don't know what a fika is, a Swedish fika is when you usually go to a coffee shop or you invite someone into your home. You have a cup of coffee and a cinnamon bun or a cookie or something like that. I don't eat sugar, so my preferences is to actually eat some raw food cakes. I love that. If you want to show me love, send me a raw food cake. I will love you forever. But we were in a coffee shop having our Swedish fika. I barely have anything on notifications on my phone because it stresses me out. But at this point of time, I had the Swedish Craigslist with a setting of the type of spaces that I was looking for. So every time something that I was looking for came up, I got a message. So we were sitting there, I got a bling, and I looked at it, and I'm like, this is not for real. And I just didn't say that much. I just showed the photos for my husband, and he's like, you say what? He's like, send them a message. So I had this pre-written message explaining into detail what it is that we are working with. Sent a message. Within like 2 minutes, I got a response back. So I started chatting with the guy who is the boss of this space. And within 2 hours, we were standing inside of the door in the space. I took one walk around, and in my mind, I was just like, who do I have to fuck to get this space? Like, what do I have to do? Like, I would do anything. And I could see in my husband's eyes that, okay, I don't even have to ask him out loud. Usually we're like, we don't do anything. We always have a long discussion before we take a decision, but I could read him. I knew that we're in. So I asked the guy, like, what do we have to do to get this space? And he was in awe because for him, it was so easy. For us, it was so easy. So when we came home, I sent him all the company information. Within 2 days, we were back signing the lease. And within 2 weeks, we moved in. So easy. And now I understand why I got rejected. Because it was not the right fit. And the lease is exactly the type of lease that I wanted. And the space is amazing. At this very moment, I'm sitting in the office space, and you can see the waters outside of the windows. I have plants everywhere. It's very tranquil. I have birds swimming in the water. I saw a beaver once, and the neighbors are like truly amazing and beautiful. And the thing is, 20 years ago, there's big boats, or like it's floating villas out here. So 20 years ago, when they started to build those, I actually started to look and see if it's a possibility to buy one, rent one. But that actually fell out of my consciousness. And this space was actually 13 minutes walk from where our apartment was. Now we moved, so it's a bit longer, but it's still worth taking the tube to get here. Why things were not really working out so fast, I understood, was because the space wasn't available yet. Because there was so much negative energy going on where we were living, fear where I was working at the time, personal grief, things that was going on with that, energy that was pulling me in 1 million directions. I started to become hesitant that there was a possibility to actually find something amazing and new. I kind of laugh at myself because I almost considered getting a space that was in a basement with no windows, because I was kind of freaked out by the feeling that I got with the old owner of the house. Luckily, Andy were pulling me out of that, saying like, hey, that's not going to work. There will be something that will come. Something will come into our lives that is worth it. Working on that trust. The trust in our heart that whatever it is that we're manifesting will come. You have to raise your own vibration. You have to lift yourself and work through the things that is preventing you from actually drawing that into your life. And everything happens with divine timing. And we have to remember that everything happens with divine timing. And when the time is right, it will come. So that is my story of how me and my husband Andy together manifested this beautiful space. I'm still in awe every day. And I truly love being here. I feel safe. I just love looking out in the water. I get inspired. The clients that I have that comes into the space are in awe because they can sit and just look out on the water when I'm doing their hair. And I feel so grateful and lucky that I can give this gift to so many other people. So remember, when you want to draw something into your life, trust that it's coming your way. Hold it close to your heart. Work on your energy. The easiest way to work on your energy is to actually meditate, to try to shut off everything, not bombard yourself with loads and loads of information at all times. Trust that it's coming your way, work on your energy, and magic will start to happen. I want to thank you for today. I hope you enjoy this story. What has been your biggest aha moments from today? I would love for you to send me a DM on Instagram and let me know what was your biggest takeaway from today. And I'm just sending you lots and lots of love and sunshine for you today. Bye!